Wall Street becoming a bigger player in the technology startup scene. Many of the largest startup investments this year belong not to Silicon Valley VC firms, but to hedge funds and large financial institutions. The shift really reshaping the world of venture investing as venture capitalists work harder to keep a seat at the table. My next guest says the shift is forcing top venture firms to look for early stage investments because later rounds are just too large, harder to get in. I want to bring in Venky Ganesan. He is managing director at Menlo Ventures. Venky, good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Maria.
So tell us about the venture capital scene and how it's changing around technology startups.
Well, what we have seen is huge hedge funds and mutual funds like Fidelity and Wellington coming in and investing in later stage companies. I think it's a positive. I think they come here because they see the growth is happening in Silicon Valley and the innovation is happening here, and we welcome them.
Where is the innovation happening in your view? I mean, where do you think the really big ideas are occurring?
Well, right now, we think one of the big theses we have is around mobile marketplaces. Menlo, which has been doing investing for over 38 years, we look at areas of investing, and we think mobile marketplaces such as Rover, Poshmark, these are the areas where we think there's a lot of innovation happening, and it's really interesting.
So tell me about how interesting it is. When you say mobile marketplace, it's bringing together communities, obviously on mobile. What kind of marketplaces?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Rover is a marketplace for dog sitters and pet sitters. So you can imagine the holiday season is coming. A lot of us are thinking about going on vacation. What do we do with our pets? Most of the time we leave it with our friend or spouse because we don't want to leave it in a kennel. Because leaving your pet in a kennel is like leaving your child in an orphanage. It's just a terrible experience. What Rover allows you to do is to find people who love taking care of pets, who will take care of your pets while you're away on vacation.
I like that.
It's growing very fast.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. I mean, I guess you have to be able to trust who you're leaving your pet with, and there's a little learning curve there, or sort of introductory curve there. But it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, no, they review, they validate, and they have certifications, so you can see how many pets the other person has had. And you also get these great pictures and videos when you're doing your stay, so you can see how Rover is actually enjoying his stay with his pet sitter.
That's really cute. That's really cool. All right, other marketplaces, and tell me how the business model works. Are these revenue generated via advertising?
No, so on Rover, it's generated through a direct transaction. So other marketplaces like Poshmark, which is another fashion marketplace we are involved in, it's also generated through transactions where people buy and sell items from their closet.
Okay, and you're seeing where is the funding coming from ventures like these two? Is it largely venture capital? Is it larger financial institutions? Who's backing them?
So in the early stages, it tends to be people like us where we have always done it. But what's changed, and this has been recent, is in the late stages, we now have folks like Fidelity, Wellington, in some cases hedge funds like Kodu, coming in and writing really big checks. The most recent large financings in venture have actually come from the hedge fund side.
Yeah, what about the sovereign wealth fund side, Venky? Because I'm hearing recently that sovereign wealth funds are trying to, really diversify away from hedge funds and get involved in some of these activist deals and some early stage development. Are sovereign wealth funds a factor from your standpoint?
Yeah, they are. So what I think everybody's looking around and saying, where is the growth? Where is the innovation? And it's very clear that the growth is in the US, and particularly in the US, it's in the technology side. And in many cases, these technology companies are actually taking over, non-technology verticals like hotels or transportation. And so these sovereign wealth funds say they want to have exposure to it, and they're coming in. We are seeing that even in our own portfolio, where recently we have had a couple of our companies financed by sovereign wealth funds.
Venky, good to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be watching Venky Ganesan from Menlo Investments.